What is the good word, everybody? Well, I'm going to tell you what the good word again is for this week. And there's two words. And those two words are go blue. So, yes, those are what is going on today. What is happening, everybody? This is your man's the one, and this is the Dukes of Football, an original podcast from the BWSPORTS Network. So, what is going on, everybody? I'm glad everybody made it out this evening. The one is here to share his joy of what a football weekend it was for him. Actually, it was a good weekend all around. Everybody won games. The daughter won her basketball game. Everybody's well, my son, young guy, little guy, he started basketball. His team did not win this week, but he pulled down, I'm going to say, at least 20 rebounds. So it was a successful week. You know, both my teams won this weekend. A lot of people didn't. Well, after the Ohio State win, it was kind of much a foregone conclusion that most people thought that Michigan was going to go past Iowa to advance from the Big Ten championship game to the college Final Four. But the more surprising win of the weekend for me when it comes to the football side had to be the Steelers, man. They were going against the top rated team or the top ranked team in the AFC, a divisional foe, an absolute rival in the Baltimore. In the Baltimore Ravens. But when it comes to rivalry games, it tends to be a little grimy, and the things don't go as well. It doesn't go as scripted as most seasons have been going. You know, they know each other very well. They know how each other get down. They pretty much know what each other has for lunch in their team meetings and breakfasts and stuff. So it comes down to execution when it gets down to it. And we were favorable, in that win. It just came down to, Ben made plays. They gave him a little time. I don't know why we keep writing him off. Yeah, this is probably should be his last year, but we can't keep writing him off because Ben made plays. And it was enough plays for us to get the win. I mean, Gussie called by hardball, but I mean, you gotta play to win, and he had no corners. What he said, they were all hurt. So you gotta play to win. And yes, I am drinking the coffee right now. It just tasted good for the moment. But I also have the backup water. Obviously, you see I'm sporting all the proper places that I need to. But that is beside the point. So um, as we go over, let's see. All right, so it's episode 29, weeks 14 in the NFL, and weeks 15 in the NCAA. So we're going to jump right into the NCAA chatter. Some good basketball games on tonight, so I'm trying not to drag this out too much. Get into it, hit it, and get it right out of it. But anyway, so we got my bookie NCAA Man Cave chatter, 50% deposit match up to $1,000 and a free $10 bet at mybookie.ag. Let's see. So we move on. I guess we can jump right into it. Let's talk about some of the games from last weekend. What happened? What was the expectations? Did they fall out your way? I could say the only thing that kind of irked my nerve a little bit was the final seedings. Um, in past years, most years, when the number one team loses, the number two team moves up to number one. That's normally how it goes, especially if the number two team had just as impressive win as the team that jumped them. But I get how the committee thinks. You didn't want to see a back-to-back game with Georgia and Alabama. You didn't have to sacrifice Michigan as in doing that. You still could have broke that up. You could have moved the undefeated Cincinnati up to number three. Why not? They were undefeated. They did everything they were supposed to do. They won games. Their big win was Notre Dame. Notre Dame was number 6, number 5 going in. If you break it down, Notre Dame is number 5. So you know what I'm saying? Why can't you move them up to 3? And then you can break up that Alabama Georgia rematch. I mean, or was it the fact that you were trying to set up the Alabama Georgia rematch? You know what I mean? Was that your angle? Was that what you was trying to do? Was you trying to set up the Alabama Georgia rematch? I'm not really sure what was the end game in that situation. So that was attractive. Sorry about that glitch. I had a power struggle. I don't know why. Power's good. Sometimes you got a glitch in the matrix. Maybe something happened. But like I said, you didn't have to sacrifice Michigan for to break up that monopoly that you're trying to force. Ooh, that's what I was saying. Or you could have been trying to set up the rematch, in the national championship game instead of the semifinal game. I don't know what the committee. I mean, you just seem so inconsistent in any of your play and any of your voting all year. One, you started with, I mean, it favored me, but one, you started out with putting Michigan over Michigan State when the first poll came out, when they won the game. I think, but then you get the same scenario right when it comes to Oregon, Ohio State. So I'm not really sure of what was really going on in the committee's head. All right, so that stood out a little bit, but if you go to the games, it looked kind of shaky for Cincinnati a little bit with the 14-13 lead going into the halftime, but Cincinnati rectified what was going on, and they took care of business and went ahead and got right of Houston, made an impressive win to go 13-0. One of the most exciting games was the Oklahoma State and the Baylor game. I picked Baylor in that particular contest. Looks like Baylor. It didn't. Looks like Baylor pulled that one out with an exciting game. Came all the way down to the end. So that was game. Let's see what was. The Oregon Utah game fell out exactly how I pretty much told you guys how I was gonna go. I mean, I didn't see anything from that first matchup to give me any type of idea that Oregon would try to have a different game plan to come against Utah. It looked like it was almost the same repeat offense. So Utah gets the win, and they are going to represent the Pac-12 in the Rose Bowl, which is going to be a really exciting game between Ohio State and Utah. Anxious to see that. That would be a good game to watch. So, a little heads up. We'll be doing a bowl coverage show because there are 44 college bowls this year. It's crazy. I don't know if I'll do I don't know if I will do a full college bowl show. Maybe since there will be no more college picks until the bowls, maybe the bowls will take the place of the college picks. Or who knows? I might just do a bowl show to go over all the bowls. And who knows? Who knows? It's getting ready to be the Christmas break, so might have some time to do a thingy majigger of that nature. But 44 bowls, some weird ones. I mean, like Jimmy Kimmel's got a bowl. Taxax got like 3 bowls, man. This is getting outrageous, but all that money is starting to filter back into the students. So I guess I don't really particularly care too much. So, but we do have one game. Let's see anything else step out. Dominance by Michigan. The Georgia-Alabama game was a little surprising, but not much. Alabama has a mental power, some Jedi mind trick over the SEC that always seems to them to come out on top at the end. I know a lot of people are some friends of ours of the network are calling conspiracies and setups and all that kind of thing. But I mean, it might have a little truth to it, but until you beat them, you're gonna have to deal with it. So again, with this foolishness of things moving around, and I don't like it. So you know what we'll do? we'll just move it over here and we'll work that way. So if this screen wants to be a jackassonomic, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna move over screens. So you gotta adapt. You gotta roll with it and adapt. So let's get into it. Now, like I was saying, before we get into that pick, we were talking about the Final Four. Obviously, these are the teams again: Georgia, Michigan, Alabama, Cincinnati. Again, I still believe that, Michigan should, not because it's my team, but number one wins, number two goes up. Regardless of however you feel how it should break down with you don't want to see a rematch, but you're setting it up for a rematch. If you did want to see a rematch, then I don't really know what to do. It'll be great to see Cincinnati beat Georgia, and no, that's not right. Sorry, I got the wrong thing up. That is my bad. I didn't change it. Alabama's number one. So it'd be great to see Cincinnati beat Alabama. And then obviously, I'm always rooting for Michigan to win anything. So nice to see Michigan Cincinnati national championship. That would be great to see us win in that first national championship since 97, first outright. Yeah. Sorry, kind of muffled there. Didn't know if you heard that or not. But all right, so there is a game this week. There's always reserved for the week that nobody else pretty much is playing. I think some D2 schools are playing their tournaments and things of like that. But we do have a game this week, so we got the Doc Sports NCAA pick of the week. Brought to you by Doc Sports. Text BWSPORTS1 to 29022 for your free $60 in picks. All right, so the game that we do have this week is obviously one of the country's favorites. A lot of pride in this game. We got the Army-Navy game. Man, this is always a good game. It's always good to watch our armed forces, these young kids right before they go to give their service, to have a little bit of last fun. This is bragging rights between the branches. So obviously, it's going to be a good one. There's going to be some kids, and not many of these kids that you're going to see are going to be playing on Sundays. There are a few of them that have kind of made it out, but I don't think you're going to see any of these guys playing on Sundays. But you are going to see these guys playing for a team that is much greater than the NFL. So if you can tune in, watch a little bit of it. It's going to be an exciting plays. Don't expect to see a whole lot of running. This ain't going to be a whole lot of running in this one, buddy. Both of these schools are normally ground games, heavily on the run. So I am going to see, let's think what the line is. The line is Army, -7, or -7.5. The over-under is 35 on that one. So I think I'm gonna go with Navy. I know Navy is the team with not the best record in this situation. It's not the better football team. Army is actually going to another bowl game, but I tend to like the Navy. Reasons being, I like the SEALs. SEALs are some badass dudes. They do shit that this guy has no testicular fortitude to do. That and the Marines are a version of the Navy, and my step pop was a Marine, and I know quite a few of them. So, bam, that's where you're going. I'm going Navy. I'm going Navy in a 20-13 win. That's what I'm going, Navy. All right, so there you have it for college here. So let's pay a little bills, and then I'll be right back to talk a little bit about the NFL, give you those picks, and we'll just keep it moving. Well, apparently the brother man is having some serious network issues tonight, and I'm not liking it one single bit. So let's do it. All right, NFL. So the NFL, interesting week we had in the NFL. The question I got real quick in the NFL, pretty much is this is the Patriots. Well, before we get to that, let's run through. Let's see here. Look, see, I got the Final Four in my notes right here, but I just didn't change it on the sheet. So we go here. Power rankings for NFL for this week. The Packers have been sitting at number one for a week or two, but the win that the Cardinals had this weekend puts them at 10-2, and they are now sitting at the top of the power rankings, followed by the Packers, the Bucks, and the Patriots have moved up to number four. Question that I have when you're speaking about that: are the Patriots the best team in the AFC? They're on a 6-game winning streak. They're winning games however they need to win them. The game that we had over the week where Matt Jones throws 3 passes the whole game, that's just outrageous. For one, that's total disrespect of your opponent's defense. I mean, that I feel that I don't need to throw the ball at all. I mean, I get it, the weather was bad and all that kind of stuff. But hey, man, you can't just let a team just run like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna throw a ball. You know, that's just crazy. But you got to look at it. You can't question Bill Belichick anymore about his coaching prowess. You can't question if he can coach without Brady. Yes, Brady wouldn't win a Super Bowl, but if you look at that team was built to win a Super Bowl right then and there. It would have been a lose season if they did not. I know they had some struggles early in the year, but they found their groove going into the playoffs. You know what I mean? They obviously have to be looking pretty good now, but you got to look at the Patriots. The Patriots, you got a rookie quarterback. You didn't have a whole lot of expectations if the rookie quarterback did beat out Cam Newton. You didn't have a lot of expectation if the rookie quarterback didn't beat out Cam Newton, but he ended up beating up Cam Newton. One thing that myself, I know DeLion and a couple other people who talk about football discussed about Matt Jones being Tom Brady like. Not to say that he has going to be or reach those type of goals, but he had those characteristics that fit Bill Belichick's style of football. And if you look at the way Alabama, how Nick Saban runs Alabama, and you look the way Bill um, um, Belichick runs New England, they're very similar. You know what I'm saying? Belichick deals with more adult men, and he knows how to mind manipulate these guys as relative to Nick Saban to be able to control a college program. But both of them are winning championships year after year after year, maybe every other year or things like that. But they're racking up championships ridiculously. And if you look at Bill Belichick's coaching job this year, yeah, we thought they'd be decent, with all the people returning for who opted out for COVID, what I mean, injuries, things like that. But then you would never expect it that Matt Jones will be playing the way he is, the leading the way he is, getting better the way he is. And that was what's surprising about that game. He has been, slinging that ball all over the field, nice pinpoint accuracy. And then you come to a situation where they just like, you know what? We're not even going to let you do it, young fella. We're going to let the ground game do it. So that was a little disheartening, but you can't question Bill Belichick and his knowledge of how to coach this game. Right now, I can say I'm not sure they're the best team in the AFC just yet. I know not the Ravens. I know the Chiefs are starting to really, really catch their groove. But who's playing better than them in the AFC? So the Chiefs, who I just mentioned, they fall at 5th. The Ravens at 6th. The Cowboys are at 7th. Oh, what a dumpster fire that organization is. And then Jerry Jones today doing Jerry Jones shit. I told you, Cowboys, they're going to do Cowboy shit. And don't be surprised if the Washington football team takes this win this weekend. So, yeah. Then you got the Bills, who are not looking good at all. They're just steady dropping games and not looking good at all. Then you got the Rams, and followed by the Titans, who were in the top 5 before King Henry went down. They're just steadily falling. It might look like they might even fall completely out of the playoffs race altogether. I think we got like 5 weeks left or something like that. So it's getting ready to get real interesting when we look at it. And then when you want to break down the playoff race, I'm really surprised that the Steelers are sitting where they're at. I mean, I didn't think that they'd have a losing season. I figured that they'd finish right at 500. So Mike Tomlin will keep his streak alive. But it looks, I mean, each week, it looks like they just keep finding, gritty ways to win games. You know what I mean? So like the game last week, Ben actually played well. Some games he's not, and that's when you got to lean on Najee Harris, in that defense. But some games he does play well. Like this Thursday, I'm not really sure. Coming off the game that he had, and it's a short week. So I don't know, but Minnesota's is hurting themselves a little bit. But the playoff race in the AFC is real tight. There's like 8 teams that are maybe 8 to 10 teams that are separated within two games of each other that could really make changes. No one has really separated themselves as like they did in the NFC with the Cardinals. I mean, the Packers are still right there, but the Packers and the Bucs are still right there, but the Cardinals seem to kind of push that little boundary a little more. So, yeah, that's what I got. And don't slip on these Colts, man. The healthier they get, and the more they start to listen to me. Listen to me. Jonathan Taylor is the key. Jonathan Taylor is the key. I'm going to say it on Twitter, and I'm going to tag everybody in the Colts Nation. Jonathan Taylor is the key, not Carson Wentz. And then, so there you have it. That's my input on the Colts. So I think what I'm going to have to do, I think I'm going to have to get a new port. I think one of my ports is going haywire. You know what I mean? Because, I'm running off a laptop or a tablet. And, you only have one USB port. So you got to buy all these little gadgets and stuff to make all this, your doohickeys work. So I might have, one of my ports might be going bad. I might have to get a new one. That's cool. Amazon's got them like $10 or so. So it's not going to hurt your boy too much. But moving on. I know y'all really didn't care about that. I told you anyway. So what are you going to do? Not watch me? It looks like anybody watch me anyway. All right, so we got the Talk Sports picks of NFL picks of the week. Once again, brought to you by Doc Sports. Text BWSPORTS 1229022 for your free $60 in picks. All right, so let's get into the games. First game of the week, NFL game 1. We got the Ravens 8-4 going to the Chiefs 8-4. Big game for both teams. Big games for the Ravens because they're not playing very well. This would be a good win to get them back on track. Lamar Jackson's numbers are down, but he's still running the ball. When he runs, he's still getting 5 yards of carry, so you can just really get first downs with him getting 5 yards of carry. But they got a lot of injuries, man. I mean, he can't do it all. The running backs are all banged up, and the guys they picked up off the street. I mean, there's a reason why they're on the street. You might get 1-2 good games out of them, but that's all you're going to get. So they have to find a way to get their offense moving. They're putting their defense in bad situations, and it's making it difficult. And then you flip the side. The Chiefs are starting to find themselves again. A lot of people were writing the Chiefs off earlier this season. They were looking pretty bad. Now, Patrick Mahomes is throwing a record number interceptions. The defense can't, guard a wet paper bag. It's just all kind of things going on. But the last couple of weeks, they're starting to figure it out. The defense is starting to keep them in games when the offense is struggling. Patrick Mahomes hasn't thrown a touchdown in 2 games. but I guarantee you he's going to throw touchdowns in this game. So I like the Chiefs in this game. I like the Chiefs in this game 30-21 to keep etching themselves back up to sit at the top of the AFC where they have been the last couple of years. So I like the Chiefs in that game. If we keep moving along, game 2, the game of the week, we're going to go to Monday night. We're going to go with the Rams at 8-4 and the NFC and NFL leading 10-2 Arizona Cardinals. The Rams, I don't know, man. I really want to pick the Rams in this game. I really do. Just because, for one, I wasn't that big of an Odell Beckham fan, but all the hate that he's gotten since he's left, since he left New York into Cleveland and hasn't been the distraction that he was in New York. It was the conversation around him that was distracting. And people were confusing that with him. You know what I mean? You know, you can't control what your daddy going to say. You know, who's going to say, like, if my daddy say something, am I going to be like, hey, daddy? You're like, whatever, boy. You know what I mean? I brought you to this world. I'll take you out. That type of stuff. But no, I really want to pick the Rams in this game, but the Rams are inconsistent. You know, even though you got the best defensive player in the game, him and the Von Miller matchup hasn't quite clicked all the way yet. Odell Beckham is catching balls and catching touchdowns there, but I'm not sure if they are clicking on that right pace that they need to against a team that has their pieces back. Kyler Murray, Hopkins looking very good. The defense, again, is as solid as always. So I'm going to have to go right now in this matchup for Monday. I'm going to have to go with the Cardinals 34-27. Now, will they meet again in the playoffs after the chemistry with Beckham and Stafford and the chemistry and how between Von Miller and Aaron Donald, how they work, how Donald moves, you can figure out your gaps and schemes off of that. I think I might pick them indifferently, but as of right now, I'm going to go with the Cardinals 34-27. If we want to talk about our upset game of the week, I did. If you caught that egg that I threw out earlier, I told you what my upset game of the week was going to be. And here it is. It is the Washington football team. And a side note, I was really upset when they changed the name from the Redskins because Dan and I had a guy on, Mark One Wolf, who is a Native American, and he is a Washington Redskins fan. There was some controversy with him outside of our show, but I mean, he spoke for a large portion of the Native American community, and they understood he educated us here on the show of the term redskin, what it means within their culture. So I was kind of, whatever. And I thought the NFL could have found different ways to pick their battles when they were going at Snyder. I think their whole goal is to get that football team away from him. But anyway, they're working on it. That's how they draw Gruden down. But, I still believe Gruden pissed off the wrong syndicate leader. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's running things gave him an opportunity to clear something up, and he didn't, and they crucified it. And I say it like this because the investigation was April. They had all this information in April, and it didn't leak into the NFL season. So I still think there's a syndicate out here from somewhere, but that's beside the point. And I think Jerry Jones is on that panel. And so I think, but saying that, just babbling, but saying that, I actually like the name, the Washington football team. I don't think they should get another name. If they want to honor the Native Americans, you can still do some type of Native American logo, within the Washington football team. But hey, I like it. I think it's cool. Screw it. You know what I'm saying? We the no team. We the Washington football team. But anyway, the Washington football team is 6-6. I got them beating the 8-4 Cowboys at 2017. Yes, I do, because there's a whole lot of crap going on in the Cowboys. Jerry Jones, once again, is being a distraction. He is in the locker room in places you shouldn't be. You need to be in the owner's box and be the rich dickhead that you are and just let the team go. But, you can't do it. And that's why the Cowboys continue to do what the Cowboys do. And that's why I picked the Washington football team to beat them 2017. All right, let's move it along. And my bet game. The game I feel that, if I was a bet man, which, I might be. Like my new tumbler. Look at that. Caramel Greyhounds. This tumbler. So when Matt graduates, I can move this over to Courtney for my wife, and she likes dogs. So we can just change this to her cup. See, that's how smart we are. But anyway, our money game. The game I picked this week, I picked the Packers at 9-3. With the minus 12 and a half, with the under of 44. I just like the Packers, man. The Packers are a good team, and they're playing against the Bears. He owns them. He told them he owns them. It's almost like the situation when Pedro Martinez in the press conference said the Yankees are my daddy. He just said, "Hey, I'm your daddy." He said, when you score touchdowns and you run through and say, "I own you," and they can't do anything about it but take that ownership, and it's not going to get any better. Aaron is playing, pretty good football, with his dirty Jesus look. So that's funny. But anyway, I like the Packers in this one, so I'm going to take them, and I'm going to take the under. So there you have it. Those were the Doc Sports NFL picks of the week. So match your picks up with my picks and see how you fare out. All right. So that's all I got for today. Make sure you guys check out the rest of the family on the network. Let's see. You got Sean. Brain fart. Yeah, Sean, Tommy Boy. Check him out with Checkers and Records on Sundays. You got Steven with Super Kicking It with Steven. Check him out on weekends. You got Monica. Check her out with Quantum Inspirations. Check her out on Tuesdays. You can check myself and Big Storm out on State of Basketball on Sundays. And the Lion always lets us know when he has interviews with the bare knuckle fighters and things of the fight world. So make sure we all give a shout out to our homie, our brother. Dan not feeling very well. Has been fighting some nasty stuff. So he should be doing on the road to recovery. So everybody give out 2 shots out and prayers to the Lion gets ready. So and then again, there's no then again. I was trying to segue to something else, but it came out as it like, oh, then again. But anyway, so yeah, check all our shows out. You can check those out on YouTube. You can check them out on our previous on the Facebook here as well. You can check them out on the website. So what do we got going on? Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking before I go, and there goes the power. Nope, we're still going. All right, so I'm having shit going on. So let me get off here. And what is going on? Lord have mercy, Jesus. I will holler at y'all later. The Dukes of Football, BW Sports 1, I'm out. Holler.